Hey, third graders. So today you're going to work with some dialogue and quotation marks like we talked about yesterday. So quotation marks are used to show when a character is speaking in a piece of written text. It's called dialogue, and there are two parts. So you have the speaker tag who tells us what or who is saying something, and then you have the actual words that the speaker is saying. So here the speaker tag is Felix said, and the actual words that Felix said is, what are we doing today? So here on slide 3, you have some examples of what it could look like in the beginning of a sentence, the end of a sentence, or the middle of a sentence. So it says, Grandma said, read with your little brother, period. And you can see there's in quotation marks around what she said. Then you have the end of the sentence where you have your quotation mark here, and then it says, Gary is a funny dog. There's a comma in the middle rather than a period. Then your quotation marks said Joel. So we know that is what Joel said. And then an example of the middle of the sentence, it says Fluffy. And then you have your quotation marks around Fluffy, our comma in the middle. Said Joy, and then there's another comma before we open our quote again, is a special hamster, period, because we're ending the sentence and ending with quotation marks. Okay, so on this slide, you're going to do a little bit of practice placing your quotation marks. Okay, so it says drag and drop the punctuation mark to edit these dialogue sentences with speaker tags at the end. So the first one said, what was that? Asked Amaya. So we're looking at the speaker tag is at the end. So we know we're going to finish it off with a period, but she asked. So that's a question. So we're going to drag the question mark. Then we're going to put our quotes to show that that is what she said. The next one says, I think it was an airplane, answered Blake. So he answered it. So we can put a period at the end because our speaker tag is at the end, a comma after what he said, and then we can put our quotes to show exactly what Blake answered. And then for the last one, it says, no, it was a bird, argued Joan. She argued, so she's not just stating, she's yelling or she's arguing. So we're going to put an exclamation point after what Joan said, and then put our quotes to show that Joan said, no, it was a bird. So pause the video here and try it on the next couple of slides. So here you have different ways to say said. You've got a whole bunch of them. So on slide 7, you're going to look at the different emojis and say, what are some other ways we can say said? So this one looks happy. This one looks angry, I guess. This one looks upset or sad. This one looks happy. So using slide 6, what are some other ways to say said? Since this one is upset, maybe he didn't say said, but he said he cried. And since this one is happy, maybe instead of saying said, we could say he yelled. Since this one is not so happy, we can say he mumbled. And since this one is kind of looking a little goofy, we can say he joked. So using the one on slide 6, go back and see if you can find out other ways to say said for these emotions. Then after you filled it in, you'll go through and put how did this person ask these things. So instead of saying said, what's another word that you can replace how the person said the words? So for slides 9 and 10, you get to decide what these characters are saying. So looking at this character, she looks pretty cold. What might she be saying? And you're going to add your quotation marks, your dialogue, and your speaker tag. Make sure you give each character a name. And then the same with slide 10. What is this person saying as they sneak around or as this person gets a gift? Make sure you name them and then create the dialogue that they're going to say and a speaker tag. If you have any questions about what you're working on today, make sure you reach out to your teachers. Have a great day, and we'll see you later.